Greetings and welcome back. In this video we're going to wrap up our look at the blend options found within the Layer Styles window. So let's go ahead and open that back up. Now you'll notice that I've gone back to just having our little stick figure on the background and nothing else. The last thing we're going to talk about is this little blend if area. What this allows you to do is to control an area of shading or of a specific color beyond which you will get blending. Now if that sounds a little bit interesting, no worries, it's very easy to show, but I do have to get a little bit fancy to really show off the power of it. So here's what we will do. I will grab a gradient overlay and apply it to our character. Our little stick figure. So whatever layer you happen to have, drop a gradient overlay on it like so. Now, I'm going to select the background layer and drop on a brand new layer. I'm going to fill this layer with any color. It doesn't matter what I fill it with. So I'm just going to hit Alt, Delete, and that filled it, in this case, with white. You can't really see the result of it because white on white, it looks like that. In fact, if I hit Control, Delete, it becomes a little more apparent because I just filled it with an obnoxious shade of green. Now, I'm going to double click on this layer as well, and we'll do another gradient overlay. However, to help make it a little more apparent what's going on, I'm going to take the angle of this gradient overlay and drag this little tiny angle slider down to the bottom, down to -90 degrees. If you're having a hard time hitting 90 right on the nose, be sure to move your mouse down toward the bottom of the screen or hold down the Shift key, and that'll give you nice stepped ranges. So you can go straight down to -90 and click OK. And that should make our little stick figure pop out very nicely. Let's go back to the stick figure, double click on his layer to bring up the layer style window, and we are back at the blending options. Now at the very top, we can choose to blend if we see an individual color with a certain amount of intensity to it, but we're going to leave this at gray just for the sake of demonstration. You have two sliders, one for this layer, one for the underlying layer. And what this means is any color that falls outside the range of these two flags will cause blending. And this will become really apparent really quickly. If I take the white flag on this layer and I start to bring it down, well, right now we're going to get nothing. And the reason we're going to get nothing is that our blend interior effects as group is going to need to be checked to show this off. So I'll go ahead and click on that. And now, as I drag this down, take a look at the inside of our little guy there. He's fading away. Now I can do a couple of things here. We can take our knockout and set that to none. And now he'll just appear to disappear. Appear to disappear. I like that. We'll go with that. Now what's really happening here? What we're doing is saying this layer, on this layer, any color that falls outside the range, or any shade of gray to be more specific, that falls outside the range of these two flags, being black and mid-tone gray, is going to blend down to the next layer. And you can see that here, because as soon as we hit that shade of gray, everything that is white, or anything that blends toward white or beyond that shade, that starts to blend and turn transparent. That means it's blending into the background. And we can drag that all the way down to black. Alternatively, we can grab the black flag and drag that up. And again, all we're doing is we're defining a range within which this layer is going to be completely visible. Outside this range, we're going to start blending. Now, down from here, we have an underlying layer as well. And what this says is wherever the underlying layer falls within this range, leave everything opaque. Where it falls outside the range, we're going to blend. Did I say that right? I'll say it again. Everything that falls outside the range, we will blend. So now if I take the underlying layer and I start to bring up the color, notice we're moving in the opposite direction, but that's because you have to take a look at what's going on with the background. The background goes from black at the top to white at the bottom. And what we've just done is said any shade of gray that falls outside these two flags, being black and these darker shades of gray, we will cause our current layer to start to blend. So in this case, the head of our little guy starts to disappear. And that's really all there is to it. It's just a way for you to use either the shading of the existing layer or the shading of the layer directly underneath to control if you have any blending going on. It can be a nice way to soften up various effects that are taking place in the background. It's kind of a custom blending thing that admittedly you may not find yourself reaching for all that often, but when you need it, it is exceptionally useful. So that will wrap up this video, as well as this discussion over the blending options inside of our layer style window. Thanks a lot for watching.